All right, so broadside 30,
32, 35, somewhere in there. It don't stink.
no, not a whole lot of blood on it. I mean, it goes all the way to the fletching, like you said.
Yeah.
A little bit of fat right there, but that's probably where it came out low on the other side.
I would assume so.
Yeah, they've got a lot of fat right now. It hit some bone or something.
So I was texting the wife. I was sitting out there about dinner, and I had said to her, "Well, I'll order some pizza from Casey's and pick it up when I'm done." And
Yeah.
so as soon as I got done texting her, which was 5:40, I literally went to Casey's website, and it was like a minute or two later. I looked up, and there he was. And wasn't ready for him, so my binos were kind of like tucked over on the side of my bag.
Yeah.
And he was too close to make that move to get binos on him. So I just grabbed my rangefinder just to see where his rack was.
How far away was he at that point that you needed binos?
55, 60 yards, but he was in the trees.
Cover, yeah.
So I wanted to see if it was a doe or if it was, because I couldn't tell if it was a buck right away. And that's when I seen his rack, and I was like, oh yeah, he's a shooter.
Yeah.
So then I put those away, and he come walking out straight at me, and I thought he was gonna come right to my tree. But at about 30-ish yards, he turned and went broadside and stood there for a second. So, and he put his head down, and well, that's when I went to draw. And when I drew, he picked his head up and then started walking forward, and I stopped him. He looked at me, and I let her fly. And I watched the knock disappear right behind the leg.
So they told me on the other tracker said E7, which is like right behind the elbow and just up a few inches. So
Yeah.
it looks like a great shot location.
Right.
Yeah, and with the lighted knock, like I said, most people are fairly accurate where they think they saw it hit.
And so after I shot and hit him, I did not. Most of the times I see my arrow sitting on the ground right where I shot him. I didn't see my arrow there. So here's my house. My property line runs here, and then it cuts back just on the other side of this guy's dirt bike track. My stand is in this oak here. He was standing here when I shot him. So he turned and he run up here and into this little swamp area, and that's where I lost the blood. Is right.
And that's where you found the arrow?
I found the arrow like back in here.
Yeah, like right after he entered the woods.
Pretty much, yeah.
So probably hanging out of his body, a twig or something, grabbed it, pulled it on out.
Yep, because it was just laying on the ground with the broadhead pointed away from where he was running.
And that's a good indication also, because it's not broken, that it just slid right out with no problem.
Yeah.
If it hit a twig, something hard, and it was still halfway in his body, it would have snapped it off a lot of times.
Right.
I mean, you could, even if it got some stress.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fractured or anything. You'd hear it popping.
Yeah, it looks good. The blood, I like the color. It's kind of a brighter pinkish looking. And you said there were some bubbles on the ground, or you don't know?
There were bubbles on the fletching when I picked it up. There was a couple bubbles on, I believe it was the white, this side of the white.
Yeah.
So he was broadside right in here. He come out, followed my trail. Into that clearing there. There's the one broken off base on the right.
Yeah, so he
ducked between those.
On the left side of that broken off one?
Yep. Or? He went right in between the frame of it.
Okay, he went like underneath the A?
Yep.
Callie, stop.
And that's where I found the arrows, on the other side of the birch there.
Alright, just stand off to the side here. I'm gonna just let her send around and see if she takes me there. Okay. If she does, then we'll just keep on rolling. Okay. Hey Callie, you ready? And then when we get to the woods, wherever you lost blood, just kind of stand off to the side in that area somewhere and just hang back, and I'll radio when. You ready, girl? Find it. Find that one. It should be a hot track for it, so even with a little bit of rain, I mean, there's times that I have to restart her. Come here, girl. Over here. The wind's right in our face. So if we get closer to it, and if it's laying out there, then she'll smell it. Do you think it went under this tree? All right, just hang right. All right, just hang right here. I'll let her advance. I'll let her range out a little ways, you know, a couple hundred yards or whatever, and if we don't see anything, we'll come back. So contrary to what some believe, Callie is far from being a perfect tracking dog, and I'll take part of the blame because I'm the one that trained her. But sometimes she just makes mistakes, and sometimes the blame can go on the hunter especially if they grid search an area and they damage the scent trail. On this track, the hunter did search a little bit where he last saw the deer, but it was very minimal, and I didn't think it was detrimental to the track. But for whatever reason, every time Callie got to that location, she struggled to pick a line. She made a loop one time. Second attempt, she ended up over at the neighbors and lost interest, so I restarted another time, and she just kind of meandered around. I could see that she wasn't locked onto the deer, so it was on the fourth attempt that we actually got her locked on, and you could tell by her body language that she was following the deer that we wanted to track. And maybe she'll finally start tracking it. That's what I like when we get in the tall grass. Usually she can smell it pretty easily and that stuff. Get that nose to clicking.
That's basically where she's smelling is the last place I had found junk was right there.
Yeah. Well, let's see where she goes. Maybe she'll finally get the point. She seems a little more eager this time for some reason.
You're headed right down the path where I last saw him. When you walked through them trees, that's where I last saw him.
Maybe she got a good whiff of his scent on the grass and finally knows which deer we want to follow. Well, there's a deer trail coming right through this tall grass heading on the whatever side of the house that this is, east or west or south. She's just pulling me along. I'm hoping she's got a...
She crosses the road, don't stop.
10-4. Going right across the road on the deer trail here. Well, she turned around at the edge of the road and came back. Now we're going across. There's a fence over here. I imagine the deer could have jumped it. She wants to go across it. Let's see if I can get her across. I think I see, yeah, I got blood right here. Yeah, there was a drop of blood on leaf and there's hair all over the fence. She definitely went in here. Alright, watch the leash there. Alright. See the blood down on the ground? Oh, there's your deer.
Right there?
Yep. Good girl. Good girl. Congratulations, man.
Holy dude.
You mind if she kind of chews on the hair back here?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Kind of her reward. The last one charged us and we didn't get a chance to let her play with it.
So for me, this is monumental. I've never shot anything with antlers. I've shot a lot of deer, but never with anything with antlers.
He's a good buck. Look at his antlers, the coloration.
Yeah.
It's like mottled looking. Yeah, girl.
You're the fucking best, man. No,
She is.